I am speaking to you today about an awesome, nice and quiet space on the University of Kentucky campus that hardly anyone visits, and I believe it's a shame as it could be used for so much for the students if they only knew about it. And the space I am talking to you about is Engineering Courtyard, a secluded area right next to the Ralph G. Anderson building. So now, to find out a little bit more about the space, I've got a couple of students who occasionally visit this space and ask them some questions about it. However, before I go to the students, I would like to describe the space a little. It is a nice brick courtyard surrounded by two pretty nice buildings, both of them being high technology buildings as it is the engineering courtyard in between two engineering buildings, with one having solar panels on top of it to help power the building. Now that I've described it a little bit, let's get over to our student interview. Hi, my first interview is with
Cameron Brussel.
a little bit like myself. I believe Cam is a freshman here who is just trying to get acclimated with the environment of college. So Cam, I was wondering, how many years have you been at UK?
This is my first year at University of Kentucky.
Cam, I was wondering, how often do you usually end up in this space?
I come to this space just in between classes.
Cam, like most other students, he shows up at this area whenever he's walking to class. However, I believe this space needs to be used for more than just when you're walking to class. It is a space where you can sit and do homework, where it's nice and quiet, and it's a place where you could possibly enjoy studying. Hey Cam, what are your thoughts on this space, and by that, what do you believe you can possibly be doing in this space to make it somewhat enjoyable?
Thoughts on this space is that it's a good quiet place that maybe you could study at or be outside.
Like Cam, I believe this is a great place to go and study, whether you're alone or with friends, as it is almost always quiet, so there's not going to be any distractions. And then if you're hungry, either before or after, there's the rising roll right next to it, so you can go and get something healthy to eat or maybe a smoothie to help with your studying. However, even though we both agree this is a great place to go and study, I believe it could be used for so much more, such as moving the career fair here. Instead of having it inside over at Memorial Coliseum, we can move it outside so it's a much more enjoyable experience rather than being stuck inside while these students are scared to see what the... So Cam, what kind of people do you normally see in this space, and what are they usually doing if they are here?
The people that I see in this space are mainly they're either eating or waiting for the next class or studying.
A lot like Cam, I will usually see a lot of students coming out to eat from the rising roll or study for an exam they have coming up. However, I believe this needs to be used more as a group project area, as it is such a quiet and easy space to work together. Cam, why do you think there aren't a lot of people at this space? What would make them not come?
I don't think a lot of people are there because they don't know about it.
Kind of like Cam, I believe a lot of people don't come to this space as they don't know where it is or what it even is. Also, I believe that a lot of people don't have class in the buildings surrounding it, which makes them not go through the area, so they don't even know about the space. The only way they'd know about the space if they didn't have classes in those two buildings is if they eat at the Rising Roll occasionally. After that great interview with Cam, as I thank him for it, I am now with Fisher Cook, who is I would say, an average freshman at the University of Kentucky. Okay, so Fisher, how often do you end up coming to this space, the engineering courtyard in between FPAT and Argam buildings?
I come to this courtyard actually every day on my way to class. I walk through and see it, but I've been there a few times. I'd say my couple months here at UK, I've been about 3 or 4 times and stopped and actually sat down.
Unlike Fisher, who only comes up to this place as he is walking to class, I actually go and sit there to eat my lunch every once in a while. Another question I have for you, Fisher, is what are your thoughts on the space? When you look at the space, what do you think?
I think it's a very nice courtyard. It's very quaint and quiet, and I like the way it's laid out. Kind of adds a lot of natural sunlight, and yeah, it's just a nice, quiet place to hang out and collect your thoughts.
Like Fisher, I believe this is a great place to go and think, or maybe work on homework that you have as long as it's nice outside. However, I also believe it could be a space used for where groups for projects. So Fisher, whenever you were walking through here on your way to class, what kind of people do you end up seeing? And after that, what are they usually doing?
Um, Whenever I've come through here, the type of people I usually notice are either college students like myself or professors, teachers actually, who are just sitting there and they're kind of studying or doing whatever productive work they can do. Like they said, it's a very nice, quiet space to be able to collect your thoughts or do any kind of work.
Like Fisher, I will usually see mostly college students there, and every once in a while you'll see a college professor moseying through the space. However, unlike him, I usually see a lot of people coming out from the rising roll and eating whatever food they got there outside because it's nicer outside. Fisher, I'm sure you notice whenever you've gone past here, there's not a lot of people in here. I was wondering, what are your thoughts on to why there aren't a lot of people there?
I would say it's because it's kind of one of those hidden gems that UK has to offer. It's not a very well known space in the campus. I think a lot more people would come and hang out there if they did know about it. And not to mention, it is kind of like right in between two buildings. It's not really a place people would notice. It's more of a pass through area. So I think a lot more attention needs to be drawn to it before people actually kind of stop and visit.
So Fisher, I have one final question for you. What do you think could be done to get more people to this space, considering it is not very used?
I think if UK really wants to utilize this area that they have on their campus, um, maybe adding some sort of feature, something to really grab the eye of someone who's walking through and make them realize, oh, this is a great spot for me to come. Like I said, collect my thoughts. This is a great place for me to come and have a good environment for not only learning and relaxing, but just for personal gain and aesthetic gain too. It's a very beautiful area. So I think that UK really need to add maybe one more aspect to this courtyard to really grab people's attention.
Well, like Fisher, I believe this space needs one more thing to make it shine to the average student, to make them want to go in there and use it. However, I'm not sure exactly what it is. I believe it could be something more for using more technology for groups, or it could be something where there's more seating because right now there's not a lot of benches or tables in there for students to walk in and do their homework on. Both of these students had similar opinions about the space as me. They both thought it was a great space that was very secluded and could be used for very nice things. However, they both agreed that most students don't know about it and that causes them to not go there. I believe there are a couple things that the University of Kentucky could do, and that's maybe tell students about spaces like this around campus so that more students will have even more places to go and study and work on